I'm going to go ahead and get started by welcoming all of you to Wat Tung. Nice to see all of you guys here this morning. Welcome to everyone joining us online as well, whether you're in Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom. Today is our group learning program where each Sunday and Wednesday I get together with students at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., helping them to understand the teachings of the Buddha and guiding you on the path to enlightenment. On Sundays, I do a talk in our book, Developing a Life Practice, The Path That Leads to Enlightenment. But on Wednesdays, what I do is I guide you guys in meditation, and then I open up to any and all questions that you guys might have. So welcome to all of you, whether you're joining for the first time or you're joining regularly. If you'd like to join for meditation, the way that we start is we start with some chanting to ease us into the meditation. This is going to help you to get more benefit out of the meditation itself. And if you're there at Wat Tung and you would like to see these chants that I'm chanting, we have chanting sheets over on the cabinet by the bulletin board. And for those of you guys that are online, if you go to our website, buddhadailywisdom.com, and click on free books, you'll see the chanting sheet about halfway down towards the bottom. These chants are in the Pali language. During the lifetime of the Buddha, they used chanting as a way to commit the teachings to memory, that every 2 weeks his students would come together and they would recite these teachings orally. So that was the way that they would commit them to memory, because the ability to write things down didn't exist in that region of the world at that time. So you can see from the origins of chanting that there isn't anything mystical or magical about chanting. It's not a rite, a ritual, or a ceremony, or worship, or prayer, or anything like that. Today we use it as a way to ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation itself. If you look at the chants and you see the English translations, you're going to see a lot of appreciation, gratitude, and respect for the Buddha. And because of this, I don't even think that the Buddha actually created these chants himself. They were probably created by his students either during his life or after his death, because a Buddha wouldn't walk around teaching people to chant to him. This would be ego and arrogance, and an individual who's gotten to enlightenment, and surely a Buddha, would no longer have that in their mind. So I still chant as a way to help you to gain benefit out of the meditation itself as you ease down into the meditation. Then in terms of your body position for meditation, if you would like to take either the seated, lying, standing, or walking positions, there's actually a walking meditation. You're welcome to take any and all of these positions. I teach these at different times in the various courses and programs and retreats that I share. But since most students are typically learning in the seated position, and I'm sure many of you guys there at the Wat Tung, you're probably maybe just starting off on your journey. So I'll share with you some details about the seated position to help you get acclimated and get more comfortable in the meditation. If you're sitting on the floor, you might have some cushions under your rear. This is going to soften your seat and make it more comfortable for you. And then you'd like to just bring your legs together, maybe in a cross-leg position. This is really helpful, but you can really sit however you like. There's not just one fixed way. But if you do choose to cross your legs, you might just do that lightly so that you're not inhibiting your circulation in your legs and causing pain in the lower body. Some people like to put their legs off the mat. This kind of gets the hips up in the air, and it lessens the angle at the hips, the knees, and the ankles. The Buddha put his right hand over his left with his thumbs together, and he put this into his lap. So if this is comfortable for you, you could use it. But there's other options here as well. Some people like to put their palms on their thighs or their knees. Some people put their palms up. Some people rest their hands comfortably in their lap. So you can put your hands and arms wherever you're comfortable. And for those of you guys that are maybe at home, or maybe you're at the temple, you might be in a chair or on a bench or maybe a sofa or a wheelchair or something like this. You could maybe put your feet flat on the floor or cross at the ankles. But again, it's not about everyone doing it the same way. When I'm there at the temple and I'm in a chair, I'm usually sitting with my legs crossed. So that's an option as well. And then you can put your hands and arms wherever you're comfortable. It would be helpful if the upper body was erect with your sternum up and your shoulders back. This helps to keep the mind attentive and alert during the meditation, because this is a dedicated, active, purposeful training session where you're eliminating certain unwholesome qualities and you're cultivating certain wholesome qualities. And you would like to do this with an attentive and alert mind. So with your sternum up and your shoulders back, it will help you to be able to cultivate the mind and actually train the mind. As I mentioned, I'm going to be chanting to ease us into the meditation. Then there's going to be a period of time where I'm going to be guiding you in the meditation. Then it's just going to be quiet for a bit. Then I'm going to come back in with some more guidance because we're going to be doing loving kindness meditation today. Then there's going to be back to breathing mindfulness meditation and back to chanting. The loving kindness meditation that we're going to do today, this is actually to transform your mind away from anger, hatred, ill will, and all the lesser versions like frustration, irritation, annoyance, even that inner dialogue. If you have like this negative self-talk in the mind where you're kind of being degrading and disparaging to this being who you are, you can transform that. You don't need to walk around with that in your mind. So this loving kindness meditation is a way to help you cultivate in the mind to be more loving and kind to all beings, including this being who you are. So as we ease into the meditation with the chanting, I'm going to come in with some guidance for breathing mindfulness meditation, and we're just going to be doing that for a brief period. But then I'm going to be coming back in with some guidance where you'll hear me saying affirmations. These affirmations are things like, may I be peaceful, or may I be safe, or may I be well, or may I be free of all discontentedness and the suffering that it causes. When you hear this, you would like to do this on the out breath. Okay, I'm going to be doing this really slow. You're going to hear me saying these affirmations. And when you hear me say these affirmations, whenever you get to your next out breath, you would like to do this within your own mind on the out breath. And then we're going to be going through these successive rings where eventually we're going to get to all beings. And then we're going to go back to breathing mindfulness meditation for a period of time. Then we're going to come out of the meditation with some more chanting. So the way that I think about this is it's kind of like a loving kindness sandwich. In the middle, you've got the loving kindness. And then on the outer edge, you've got kind of like the lettuce and tomato, which is the breathing mindfulness meditation. Then you've got the bread holding it all together, which is the chanting. So if you'd like to join for meditation, you can take whatever position you like. But as I mentioned, the seated position is one that people oftentimes use. Make yourself comfortable, just as long as the body's comfortable, not luxurious and not painful. And if you'd like to join along in the chanting, you're welcome to. And then I'm going to come back in with the guidance. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Wat Tung Bhagavanang Abhivateyami Savakato Bhagavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅgho Saṅghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Piso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicacaranang Sammuno Sakato Rokavito Anutero Purisa Dhammasati Satatava Manu Bhagavato Bhagavati. Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, and the upper body erect. Just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath. Nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled. Just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then, whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath. Either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Then I'll be back with more guidance on loving kindness meditation. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. Continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Repeat these affirmations in the mind on the out breath. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May mom and dad be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May my family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers all be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who have caused me harm be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who I have harmed be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all beings, wherever they reside, be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be well. May all beings be free of discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. Now go back to breathing mindfulness meditation, focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Breathing in and out. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธมะเขวะโอตังมหาเขวันนังอภิวาเทมิสวากขาโตมหาเขวัตตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสมะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจาจารณังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสาดามาสติสัตตาตาวามนุสนังโหโตภาควาติ If you'd like to slowly make your way out of meditation, once again, welcome to all of you. Nice to see all of you today, whether you're at the temple or you're online through Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom. Welcome to all of you guys. This was our loving kindness meditation. This is a meditation that was taught by the Buddha in order to help you transform your mind and move it towards the peace and the joy, the calmness and serenity and contentedness that is the enlightened mental state. One of the things that exists in the unenlightened mind is the anger, hatred, ill will, the lesser versions of that, like frustration, irritation, annoyance. These are all things that you can actually eradicate from the mind. By the time you get to enlightenment, you don't even have the slightest dislike towards another being. Right now, there might be certain people that you like and certain people that you dislike, but this is just coming from your own expectations. This is coming from your own wants, the things that you want other people to do. And if they do things the way you want, you'll experience the happiness or excitement, or you might like this person. But if people do things the way you don't want them to do it, they don't meet your expectations, then you might dislike this person and you might be angry and bitter and harsh and hostile towards them. And this will just damage your relationships with other people. It's important that you get to the point where you don't have these expectations of others, that you understand that everybody's different. Because of the universal truth of impermanence, not everybody's going to do things exactly the same way. And you can get to the point where you understand the teachings of the Buddha and all of his teachings on the Eightfold Path and all the connected teachings, and you can transform your mind away from all these discontent feelings, all the anger, sadness, frustration, irritation, annoyance, guilt, shame, fear, stress, anxiety, loneliness, boredom, shyness, resentment, jealousy. All of this can be eradicated from the mind. And this is occurring through training of the mind. There's nothing in the teachings of the Buddha that is based in belief. His teachings are to train your mind. And what you'll need to do is investigate and examine his teachings. You'll need to reflect on those teachings to independently verify them. And then you'll need to practice them, integrating them into your day to day life. And this is where you'll see real transformation in the condition of your mind and also in your life, in your relationships. So, what I do on Wednesdays is I just open up to any and all questions that you guys have. I know there's people there at Wat Tung, and there's people that are joining us across the internet. If you guys have any and all questions that you'd like related to the path to enlightenment and the teachings of the Buddha, you're welcome to ask those questions. If you're having personal challenges or you're seeing things in Buddhist teachings, or if you're curious about things that you're seeing in the world, you're welcome to ask any and all questions. If you're at the temple, you can use the microphones that are there if you wouldn't mind using those. That way, people on the internet through live stream will be able to hear you. All you need to do is pick up a microphone in the white bowl, press the gray button. You're going to see the lights come on, and then just hold it up to your chin, and we'll be able to hear you all throughout the live stream. And then you can keep the microphone with you because you might have more than one question, or someone around you might have a question. And then for anybody who's in Facebook, YouTube, or in Zoom, you can put your questions in the comment section, or you can raise your hand electronically in Zoom and then unmute your microphone and ask any and all questions that you like. So, is there anyone who has any questions that you guys would like to ask related to the path to enlightenment? Okay, I'm not seeing any questions anywhere. All right, maybe everyone's really quiet today. All right, if nobody has any questions, oh, there we go. We have some questions at What Tung You. Okay, go ahead, guys. We can't hear you guys at What Tung You yet.
Hello.
There you go.
Hi, everyone. Um, I have no emotional problem. I think I'm peaceful and enjoyable for now. I don't care what other people think of me. I don't care much for anything, I think. But as a result, I have no passion for anything. I have no ambition, career. Um, Maybe I have low value to other people, to society. My question is, should I change or should I worry about the future? Maybe in 10 or 20 years, uh, I have no money, I have no children, and just will become a miserable old woman. So my question is, should I change something or do something for future or plan something for future? It's my question. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's important to never worry about anything, but with your mind being untrained, you're not going to be able to do that. By the time you get to enlightenment, you won't be worrying about anything. The lack of motivation and enthusiasm that you have, this is because the mind's not yet in the middle. It's not practicing the middle way. There's something called the enlightenment factor of energy that the Buddha taught is where you have vigor, you have ambition, you have enthusiasm, you have a willingness to do something, that you take initiative. And you're not doing that right now. So you're going to need to lift your mind up out of that sluggishness and dullness and bring it more to the middle. But also, if the mind goes to this excited, overactive state, that's not where you're interested in being either. You would like to bring the mind to the middle. So there's certain teachings that help you to do that. The Buddhist teachings don't focus on the future. The future is where the mind will oftentimes worry about the future or will long and yearn for the future. He's not teaching you to do that. And he's not teaching you to have your mind in the past either, where you're worried about the past or you're clinging to some experience that you had in the past and then forming feelings today based on something that's happened in the past. Instead, he's teaching you to bring your mind to the middle in the present moment where you can be peaceful and calm and serene and content with joy. But again, the unenlightened mind doesn't know how to do this because it hasn't been trained. So there's a training that you can do, that you can learn. The teachings of the Buddha will help you to be able to understand how to move your mind to the point where you don't experience the dullness and lethargic condition, but you're not overactive and excited and bouncing off the walls either. So there's teachings that you're going to need to learn in order to be able to accomplish that. And if you're ready to learn and understand, there's books, audiobooks, videos, podcasts, classes, and courses and retreats that can help you to do that.
Okay. I have another question for you.
Hmm.
What do you think is the best state for a person?
The best what?
Best state for a person to
The best state?
get.
You mean like mental state?
Yeah.
Oh, enlightenment for
就是
sure.
就是个 person your best for maybe mindful think.
Mindfulness is a mental quality that you're practicing at all times in order to make your way to enlightenment. But when you ask me what is the best mental state, I would say enlightenment itself, because in the enlightened mental state, there's multiple qualities. There's focus, concentration, clarity, deep memory. There's loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, equanimity. You're going to be practicing generosity. You're going to notice that you have deep wisdom, that you can be polite, kind, friendly, and respectful with everybody. You'll notice that your mind is cheerful and glad and uplifted. It's bright, it's radiant. It's a permanent mental state that you're always experiencing. So, enlightenment encompasses all those things and more.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions you guys have? Yeah, you guys can go ahead. Feel free to keep asking questions.
Hello.
Yes.
Uh, Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you as well.
I have two questions. So first of all, want to ask, when I meditation, there was always a train of thought that I can't cut off. Like my mind tell me I need to cut it off, but I couldn't. They just popping up over and over again. That really, really, I don't know what to do.
Sure. So the reason why this is occurring is because the mind is untrained and undisciplined, like I was just explaining to the other young lady. So it's the Eightfold Path, the core central teaching of the Buddha, that is going to help you to understand how to train your mind. It's not only meditation that you need to learn in order to train your mind to be able to cut off and let go. You also need to be practicing all the other factors of the Eightfold Path, including something called generosity. You're going to need to be willing to give and share, because right now you might be holding on to things very tightly, like your money or your time or your effort or your food or your clothing or your jewelry, maybe your friends or family member. Your mind's holding on. That's what's causing the stress, the anxiety, and the anger and the frustration and all these other discontent feelings. The mind's holding on and wanting things a certain way. So the breathing mindfulness meditation, that's going to help train your mind to let go, but you need to be doing that on a consistent, ongoing basis. You're not going to be able to transform your mind in just one day, 1 week, or even 1 month or 1 year. You're going to need a consistent, ongoing training of breathing mindfulness meditation, generosity, and all the other factors on the Eightfold Path. But the beauty about these teachings is that as you're gradually training your mind, you're going to see gradual improvements. That it's not like you're working for 5 or 10 years and then you don't see any improvement, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get improvement. That's not the way this works. It's not like a light switch, but instead, as you're gradually training the mind, you're going to see gradual progress in your mind as well. So you need to focus on breathing mindfulness meditation and generosity. Those are the two things that are helping your mind to let go. But you wouldn't only be able to do those things, you would be interested to practice the entire Eightfold Path. That's what's going to help you to really transform your mind. Can't hear you. Not sure if you're speaking or not. You still there? Oh, Steve, you must have muted yourself. There we go. You guys should be able to unmute yourself in Zoom. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So when I noticed I was breath, I gonna forgot how to breathe. Like I don't know how to inhale and exhale. Sometimes there was even suffocate. I had to take a big breath. Like I had to train myself to learn how to breathe. That was problem when I meditation.
Okay.
Maybe
So
you could give some advice.
yeah, so usually you need to do some breath training outside of meditation before you start involving your mind. You can just sit quietly with either your eyes open or your eyes closed, and you can just take some nice, slow, gradual breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. I had to do this for like a week or two, even before I really got my meditation going, where it's just I don't know if you can hear that or not because this mic isn't so sensitive. I have some filters on it, but you just would like to have a gradual inhale and a gradual exhale, nice and slow. The amount of breath, like the volume of air that each person takes in, is going to be different, but the pace in which you breathe should be somewhat similar. It should be very slow and steady, very consistent breath, a gradual inhale. Because the thing that the mind's doing in the unenlightened state is it's racing. It's like go, 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 go. You want to hurry up and get to those pleasant feelings by chasing after the things that you want in life. And in order to get to enlightenment, you're going to need to slow the mind down. So if your mind is focused on the breath and you slow your breath down, during meditation, you'll slow your mind down, and now in day to day life, your mind can calm down and be more slow. Whereas if you're like a racehorse where you're running around the track all the time, then when you go to the barn, it's like you can't calm down. That's what the horse experiences. So it's the same thing as if you run around all day long, then when it's time to go home, you're going to have a hard time to calm down. So you would like to train your mind to be slow and steady, and you'll actually think through your decisions better and you'll make wiser decisions and you'll see that you'll experience more wholesome results. So if you slow the breath down, do some breath training for a little bit, then as you get your breath more under control, more kind of natural, gradual breath. When I say natural breath, it doesn't mean like just breathe the way you breathe right now. A natural breath is a more slow, steady, consistent breath. And you're going to need to develop that. And as you develop that and you focus your mind on it, it'll slow down your mind during meditation. But then more and more, as you accumulate the benefits of your meditation each day, it'll slow down your mind in day to day life as well. And now you can think through your thoughts and ideas, your decisions better, and you can put out wise decisions into the world rather than maybe some of the unwise decisions that you're putting out into the world now.
Okay, that's very helpful.
Mhm.
So my last question was, uh, I just quit the job that's really stressed me out. Uh, and now I was there where that I don't know what I want. That it was like I don't want anything. I don't mean I want to die. I just don't know what is. I know the life maybe is not meaningful, but uh, I don't know what is the the thing that could support me to um, maybe looking for like if you know you can imagine that I was in on the sea but I couldn't know where's with the place that I want to go. I
Mhm.
lost like I lost in this world. Yeah, I just don't feel anything.
and I could feel the happiness or the sun or the flower sometimes. But it feels like I don't feel anything sometimes.
Okay. So it's important to understand that the job that you quit, that's not what was stressing you out. It's not the external things that are stressing you out. It's actually what's going on inside your own mind. That the mind is wanting the outside world to be a certain way. There were certain things at that job that you wanted it to be a certain way. And when it was that way, you were happy. And when it wasn't that way, you were frustrated or sad or stressed or whatever other emotions you might have been having. So if you just go get another job, it's only a matter of time before you're stressed again because your mind's wanting things to be a certain way and it's not going to be that way permanently. You can't experience a life where everybody does things your way. This is the way the unenlightened mind thinks, is that it wants the outside world to do things my way. And what the Buddha is teaching you is how the world functions through these natural laws. And you're going to need to, and if you're interested in getting to peace and joy, is study these natural laws, be able to independently verify them and practice them and train your mind. And you'll slowly be able to see how the mind awakens to understanding these natural laws. Because when you live in a world that you don't understand, you'll struggle and you'll have difficulties. But when you understand these natural laws, you can navigate the world peacefully and joyfully. In terms of your job and looking at, a particular livelihood, in that book series that you see over there on the bookshelf, if you look in volume 12, chapter 14, you will be able to see the teachings on the what the Buddha shares about how to get a livelihood or a occupation that is more in line with ensuring that you're not causing harm to others. But just looking at that teaching alone isn't going to just magically help you get a new job and enjoy that job. There's many other things that you need to be learning and growing and developing, but I just point you to that because it will help you to understand some things. Not only the words of the Buddha, but you're going to see my words in there too. Down below the words of the Buddha, you'll see words that I share that are going to help you to understand how to find a job where you have enthusiasm, ambition, motivation, encouragement. And, this is going to take you time to be able to do that. But gradually, slowly but surely, if you're learning all the other teachings and you're learning uh, things, how to train your mind and how to find a livelihood that you can feel enthusiasm and ambition for, then you can create an ideal life for yourself. Oftentimes what we do with our lack of wisdom is we make decisions about our life and we construct this life for ourselves that we actually don't like, that we actually feel mundane or bored or dull or it's stress or anxiety. When you come to a place like Thailand because you want to escape your life, and it's like, I can't even live in that life. I just need an escape. And you come to Thailand, everything feels great. It's like, wow, good food, massages, sunshine, maybe today smoke, I hear. But, you have this, great time on holiday, on vacation. But then you got to go back to your life. Oh my goodness, right? It just feels so miserable, right? But that's because you've constructed a life for yourself that you don't really enjoy. But what the Buddha is going to teach you how to do is construct a life for yourself that you thoroughly enjoy, so that no matter whether you're in your normal life or you're on holiday, you can just be enjoying every aspect of your life. But that comes with gradual training of the mind. So I suggest you guys start with the first book, volume one. You can download it for free. You can take it and go print it if you like. You can get printed versions there at the temple by just reimbursing us for the printing cost, or you can get it on Amazon if you have access to Amazon. And if you gradually start learning through the book and you attend the classes and courses and retreats where I'm sharing the teachings, you can gradually learn and train your mind and experience improved results in your life.
So what you said the natural laws. So what is it?
So the Buddha's teachings, it's not a bunch of beliefs. It's not a bunch of rules. It's not these kinds of things. It's not rites and rituals and ceremonies and worship. Even if you've been exposed to those kinds of things in the past and people were telling you that those were the Buddha's teachings, even if it was a monk that was doing things, Those aren't the teachings of the Buddha. There's no beliefs in his teachings. There's no rites, rituals, ceremonies, or worship. There's no prayer. The Buddha's teachings aren't about doing a bunch of good things now and then hoping something good happens when you die. That's not what his teachings are about. His teachings are about understanding these natural laws so that now in this life, you can create a wonderful and peaceful and joyful life for yourself. So there's a whole host of natural laws. But the main natural law that he's teaching you is the natural law of karma, or some people call it karma. This is cause and effect, or action and result. Whenever you make decisions, either wisely or unwisely, you're going to experience the results of those decisions. And the results are either going to be wholesome or unwholesome. If you make decisions wisely, you'll experience wholesome results or wholesome karma. And if you make decisions unwisely, you will experience unwholesome results or unwholesome karma. So the natural law of karma, it isn't anything mystical or magical. It's not punishments and rewards. It's not anything like that. It's not about who's at fault or who's to blame. It's about understanding how decisions that you're making in your day-to-day life, whether it's with relationships that you have, like with your parents or your siblings or your coworkers, or whether it's about what job or occupation you have, or how you interact with people on a day-to-day basis, everything that you decide, there's going to be some result. And when you put out a decision, that decision is then going to produce certain results. But when you lack wisdom of these natural laws, namely the natural law of karma, you're going to be out there making unwise decisions and not even realizing it. You just don't understand what you don't understand. With that lack of wisdom, you will make unwise decisions. It will produce unwholesome results in your life. And then what people tend to do is blame those results on other people. That's usually what people do. Or you might say you have good luck or bad luck. Or you might think you have destiny or fate. Or you might think it's God that's controlling you. And as long as you think this way, you're not going to actually be able to improve what you experience on a day-to-day basis because you're locked in. Because if it's destiny or fate, you can't change that. If it's good luck or bad luck, you can't change that. If it's God that's controlling you, you can't change that. And if it's other people that are causing you to experience certain things in your day to day life, you can't change other people. So, what the Buddha is helping you to be able to understand is that everything you experience in life is based on your own decisions. And when you come to understand wise decision making, then you can experience wholesome results in your day to day life. So, the natural law of karma is the main natural law that he's helping you to awaken to or cultivate wisdom about. But there's other natural laws too, like dependent origination and things like this.
Is there any way like could it help me to make a wise decision?
Yes, but it's not like you can just read 3 paragraphs in a book and then you immediately are able to go out in the world and make wise decisions. You need to gradually train your mind. It's a whole path. I can show you 1 second. Let me just pull up something here. I have a visual aid. I usually show this for beginning students that are just starting out. It's just an image, though. It's not going to, you know, change your life today. You're going to need to gradually learn and understand these teachings. So this is the Eightfold Path, where um, I'm showing you the 8 individual steps organized into 3 different sections. And this Eightfold Path is the core central teaching of the Buddha. And you learn each one of these using the original words of the Buddha. And when you learn with the original words of the Buddha, this is your path to enlightenment and how to actually train your mind. And as you gradually are making your way through this Eightfold Path and training your mind, you'll experience more and more improved results in your day to day life. But you're going to need to decide that you're done feeling stressed, you're done feeling anxious, you're tired of broken relationships over and over. You would like to create a wonderful life for yourself, and you're going to need to do something different than what you're doing right now, because what you're doing in life right now, to a certain degree, it's not working. And of course, certain things are working, but there are certain things that aren't really working. And you need to be willing to acknowledge that. And you need to be willing to put in some effort to really improve the way your mind thinks and the wisdom that you have. You're going to need to cultivate new wisdom about this world. And one of the analogies that I use is like when we all grew up, we didn't understand the natural law of gravity. So we struggled and had difficulties with this. We fell down, we hurt ourselves, we broke our head, broke our elbows, we bleeded from our knees, we broke our toys. But slowly but surely, we gained wisdom about this natural law, and we started going out into the world making wiser and wiser decisions. We started tying our shoes tighter. We started looking at the surface of the sidewalks. And now we're at the point where we can ride bicycles, we can get on airplanes, we can get on ladders and climb up ladders. And we fully awoke to this natural law of gravity. So therefore, we don't struggle and have difficulties with it anymore. So there's other natural laws in the world that are affecting you, whether you're aware of it or not. Because just like the natural law of gravity, it affects you whether you're aware of it or not. At 2 years old, 3 years old, it was affecting us whether we are aware of it or not. So the Buddha here, through the Eightfold Path and his other teachings, are helping you to understand what those natural laws are. And that's where you come to cultivate wisdom. And as you fully develop your wisdom of this natural law, now with the mind being fully awake, you can navigate the world with ease. There's no more struggles or difficulties.
Okay, that's very deep.
Mhm.
I think I need to learn continually.
Yeah, if you start with some of the first book or the audio book, all these resources are available for you at no cost. You can even get personal guidance with me if you would like. Everything's available at no cost. You can ask questions in classes. You can send me private messages. You can post in our Facebook group. You can schedule personal guidance with me. Pleased to help you, but each individual needs to decide that they would like to start learning. Like today is just a very informal class where I just do meditation and I open up the questions that you guys have. But typically, I'm actually teaching a topic and helping you to learn each individual class and guiding you along the path.
All right, thank you. That's
Mhm.
all my questions.
Yes, you're welcome. You guys have any more? Yeah, we got some more. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, guys. I think everyone else on the live stream doesn't have questions.
I think we have a question from the temple.
Sure.
Uh, like the more I learn about the Buddha's path to enlightenment, the more I feel it's tricky to go to a temple because Buddhism and the path to enlightenment are very different things. Like now I do not know how to pray to Buddha because according to Buddha's teachings, they are the same as everyone else. They do not have ego. They should not be made from gold or silver or precious materials. They should not wear fancy clothes, sitting all the way high up there and welcoming everyone to worship them. So I I'm a bit lost how to view Buddhism and the path to enlightenment.
One of the ways to see the Buddhist teachings is it's a self help program. It's for you to learn and grow and develop. It's not about worshiping. There's no such thing as praying to the Buddha. He never taught prayer at all. I can show you his own words if you like, where you can see that he didn't teach prayer. One second, I will pull it up for you so you can see it. One moment. Right here. This is volume 13, chapter 82 of the book series that I share. This is where you can see that the Buddha didn't teach any prayer whatsoever. Um, Oftentimes people misunderstand his teachings. So depending on what you've been exposed to, you might have been taught to pray. So here the Buddha talks about, there's these 5 things that are wished for, desired, agreeable, and rarely gained in the world. So he says, long life is wished for, desired, agreeable, rarely gained in the world. Beauty, peacefulness, fame, the heavens, meaning being reborn in the heavenly realm. Eventually what he gets to down here is he says, Um, he says, these five things, they're not that are wished for, desired, agreeable, and rarely gained in the world, are not obtained by means of prayer or aspirations, right? He says, if these five things that are wished for, desired, agreeable, and rarely gained in the world could be obtained by means of prayer or aspirations, who here would be lacking for anything? Meaning, if we could just pray and get what it is that we want in the world, then who would be lacking for anything? Because we could easily just pray and, well, boom, we'd get what we want, right? This isn't the way the world works. The way the world works is the natural law of karma, of cause and effect. That if we are interested in a better life and we're interested in acquiring something in the world, we need to make decisions that lead to that. And that's where the cultivation of wisdom comes in. So the teachings of the Buddha aren't rites, rituals, ceremonies, worship, and prayer. They're not a bunch of beliefs or rules and commandments. It's helping you to cultivate wisdom so that you can go out into the world and making wiser and wiser decisions. What he did is he discovered certain pollutions that are in your mind. And when you have those pollutions, you're going to make decisions unwisely. And now it's going to produce unwholesome results in your day to day life. But when you can purify your mind and get rid of all those pollutions, then you can go out into the world making better and better decisions. And that's where you'll experience improved results. So, again, I would suggest you start with the first book, because that's where you're really going to lay down a foundation and really make your way towards understanding his teachings in a much better way. And it's this self help program, it's a purification of your mind that's going to help you to get rid of those pollutions and now cultivate wisdom and gradually training your mind, making wiser and wiser decisions in the world.
Thanks, David. And just a follow up question. Like with these things in mind, is it still possible to go to a temple and like not worship, not pray, but like to show respect in a I don't know wholesome way to thank God, to thank Buddha for spreading his teachings, his wisdom with the world, without like desiring anything back, uh, like a perfect job, a perfect life, a lot of money, and still holding a balanced view about Buddhism. Because as like I look at temples with a pair of fresh eyes, I see a lot of unreasonable parts, like no women allowed, and those things that are against Buddha's original teachings. I am just seeking a new way of like dealing my relationship with temples, with those Buddhist statues.
Yeah, so the Buddha never taught to make statues of him. The Buddha never taught that women shouldn't come to the temple. Where you see people having signs that say, women aren't allowed in this temple, well, I, as a man, I'm not even interested in going to those temples anyway, because I know right away when they have those signs, it means that they have grossly misunderstood the teachings of the Buddha. What a temple is it's a community center. It's a learning center. The way you can think about a temple and a monastery is it's like the womb of a woman. The womb of a woman is the best place for an individual to grow and develop and to become a better and better human being. So as we have a fetus in the womb, that fetus grows into a better and better human being. And the same thing is true about a temple. So that temple that you guys are at, when I'm usually there, I look at it like a womb. Even now, I'm still helping the womb to individuals that come into the womb to grow and develop into better and better human beings. The temple isn't to go and worship. It's a place to grow and develop. It's a learning center. It's a cultural center. And the Thai people have created these temples all over the country, and they're all independently operated. So that's why you can see one temple do one thing versus another temple do another thing. But if you find a temple that you feel comfortable with, that you feel like you can learn and grow and develop into a better and better human being that is providing you wisdom and resources to be able to help you, that's the kind of environment to go in. And there's no need to go to all those other temples, especially the ones that say women aren't allowed. Those places have grossly misunderstood the teachings, and they're not going to provide you the guidance that you need to really make improvement and progress on the path. So you're welcome at this temple. You see that we have no rules. There's no rules. You can sit wherever you like, you can wear whatever clothes you like, you can come and go anytime you would like to come and go. There's none of that kind of stuff. Um, so if you would like to learn and grow here, you're more than welcome to. But this is how I view a temple as a learning center, a cultural center, a place to learn and grow and develop, like a woman's womb. It's the very best place to grow and develop into a human being.
Like that metaphor, and I like the learning center concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so when I go to a temple, if I see statues, I just think like, oh wow, that's a beautiful artwork. And by the way, you are talking about kind of respecting Gautama Buddha and appreciating him for sharing his teachings. He was actually asked during his life, he was getting ready to die, and he told people like 3 months ahead of time that he was going to be dying because he was so enlightened that he knew exactly when he was going to die. And he told people 3 months ahead that he was going to die. And people asked him, like, well, what are we going to do? Like, people are coming here, they're going to be interested to come see you. And because if you can imagine a Buddha teaching for their entire teaching career, by the time they get to death there's just going to be massive numbers of people coming to visit him. And they said, the Buddha said, well, if people are really interested in respecting me, uh, he basically gave these 4 sites that people could visit. He talked about the place where he was born, the place where he got to enlightenment, the place where he delivered his first teaching, and the place where he died. And he said, okay, you can visit these 4 places to arise dedication. But when people asked him, like, how can we respect you? He said, if you would like to respect me, you can practice the teachings, right? Because the Buddha's dead and gone. He can't help you anymore. He lived his life. He's not coming back ever. He got to enlightenment. He's not going to be reborn back into this world ever again. So he did what he needed to do in order to share these teachings, and he can't help you anymore. So going to a temple and doing any kind of prayer or worship or anything like that, not going to have any benefit whatsoever. But learning his teachings, investigating his teachings, reflecting on them to verify them, and practicing them, because there's so many teachings, not just meditation, but learning how to interact with other human beings and things like this. That's what's going to make all the difference in the world. So if you'd like to honor and respect the Buddha and show appreciation for what he did to share his teachings, if you learn and practice his teachings, that's the very best thing you could ever do, to respect a teacher. And that's what's going to ultimately actually help you.
Thanks, I'll do it. I've
Up to
already
you.
started the first book.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. Let's see. I think you guys, no more questions? No more questions. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do then is just end by saying thank all of you guys for coming to the temple. Thank everyone for joining us online as well. Nice to see everybody. If you guys would ever like to learn more, you're always welcome. I teach regular classes on Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And then I have various courses, classes, and retreats that you can learn there at Chiang Mai, or I live stream them when I'm at Chiang Mai or when I travel around and teach at different places. I also live stream typically. So you guys are always welcome to learn. All you need to do is look at our website or look at the bulletin board over there, and you'll be able to see all the different classes, courses, and retreats that we have. The website has all the information you need, where you can get the videos, the podcasts, the books, audiobooks. Everything's available for you at no cost. So this Sunday, what I'm going to be teaching is chapter 18 in our book. Chapter 18 is titled God's Creative Action. You Have Free Will. I'm going to teach about this being of God, because during the lifetime of the Buddha, he taught about this being, but oftentimes we're taught different things that we're taught to just believe about this being. But I'm going to teach you in a way that you can independently verify what this being actually does, so that if you would like to have a relationship with this being and get to enlightenment, you can. But if you're not interested in having a relationship with this being, I'm going to teach you how to do that and still get to enlightenment as well. So your enlightenment isn't dependent on whether you have a relationship with this being or not, but it's helpful to have an understanding of how to get to enlightenment either way. So that's the topic for this Sunday. And then next Wednesday, I'm going to be doing meditation again with students and then just opening up to any and all questions that you guys have. This week here in California, I'm going to be teaching a 5-day course from Wednesday to Sunday, and we're going to be live streaming it. So you guys are always welcome to join that as well if you'd like. So have a very lovely and wonderful rest of your day, and perhaps I'll see you guys in one of these future classes, courses, or retreats. Be well and take care. Sawadee-ka. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy your meditation. Look forward to seeing you online and answering any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.